You know, being here in the House of Mario all by myself this month has been amazing. I've had access to all 3 pieces of the Triforce, every power-up, and unlimited XP all to myself. But you know, being here all alone in this huge house feels so empty. Hello? See? Nothing but echo. I wonder if my co-host Bryce will ever come back.
Hello!
Who could this be? We're located exactly between the Mushroom Kingdom and Hyrule. No one knows we live here.
Hello, it's me, I'm back.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, the award-winning Nintendo podcast on the 8-Bit Collective, and the doors to episode 86 are open. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and joining me back in the hot seat, back on the House of Mario, is my best buddy, Bryce DeWitt.
Where's my $1 million, Eddie?
Well, it's in one of these... No, that's The Price is Right, I was about to say. It's in one of these briefcases. You've got to try and open it. Which one are you going to choose?
69.
69? Nice. You have to wait till the end of the show to find out whether it's been opened or not.
Oh.
But Bryce, you haven't been on in a while. What's been up? I've had a few of our friends and that going, oh, how's Bryce going? You know, you've been away for a month or so. So
How am I doing?
A fair bit's happened. You've had a kid.
Yeah. That was my main reason for taking the break.
Oh, you've gotten out to talk. You haven't been here for a month. That's all right.
It's just been pretty much what you expect, I guess. It hasn't actually changed all that much. It's just, you know, you've got to...
The next one.
You've got to learn how to manage 2 children, and then you've got to, you know, make sure you spend time with them, and
Yeah, okay, right.
and nurture them and grow, and you know, I'm an adult, I can do these things.
That's good.
Yeah, but no, too long didn't read. It's all been pretty much the same. Just been raising our beautiful little boy. He's a month old already.
It's going quick, isn't it?
Jesus Christ, it's gone quick. And I mean, he's a little more difficult than the first one was in terms of like certain things, but
like going to bed and that,
sleep, and But I mean, Jade's not working until. Well, Jade's not going back to work till the end of the year, so we've got plenty of time to figure that out. It's not a big deal. And then I'm just working in between that. So
Awesome.
Saturdays don't exist for me anymore at the moment, so that's fun.
Oh, well, at least the rest of the week exists.
Well, guess so.
Yeah. So I want to catch you up on sort of Nintendo news. Just not catch you up, but just
I was about to say catch me up, like I haven't been watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, but just to,
fuck me, right?
No, fuck you. Yeah, exactly. Fuck you. Catch the audience up on sort of your opinions. So, what was your favourite game from the Direct a couple of weeks ago?
Oh shit!
Just top of your head, boom.
Which Direct are we talking about?
The last one.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well. I didn't get to watch it live, so I was catching up new. I was actually fishing at the time with my mother's partner, but probably Astral Chain I'm most interested in.
Oh yeah, really?
Well,
nice. Yeah.
I mean
that's definitely up there for me too. Yeah.
Well, because it's got that aesthetic from X that I want on the Switch, sort of. You know what I mean? And it's a Platinum game, and Platinum games are usually pretty damn good, so I can't really complain.
It looks stunning, yeah. Like,
it does.
At least from the trailer. Hopefully it looks like that when it comes out.
Well, we all know that video games don't, but you know, look at Anthem's comparison even. Well,
it's just like, a lot of those E3 showings are just blown right out of proportion what the actual final product is.
They're actually like ran on a computer with the absolute tippest of specs.
Yeah, they borrowed one from NASA to showcase the game.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's you can never expect that type of thing to be like, oh hey, look, this is going to run on it.
It is only coming out. Was it end of July or August? So it's not that far away. So that should be pretty.
It's actually kind of surprising how soon that is.
Yeah. They must have had it cooking in the background.
Well, they probably had it cooking before Bayonetta. Yeah, they would have had to.
Yeah, must have. Yeah.
So, because we've got nothing on Bayonetta since the reveal teaser.
Yeah.
So I guess yeah. I mean, I'm excited for it. I want that. So
I'm actually pretty surprised you said that over Fire Emblem or Zelda or any of that stuff.
The thing is with Fire Emblem is I already know what... I already knew it was coming, it was... I got more information on what's going on with Fire Emblem, and that's cool and everything, and I still can't wait for Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem's going to be wicked, but seeing something new, fresh, and exciting, and something that I've been in sort of demand for in terms of theme, has got me excited. I mean, obviously, like, Fire Emblem's going to be one of my bigger games this year that I'm going to be like, wow.
It's going to be a lot of time put into that, just by the sort of choices you can make, just all the different sort of regions or the houses you can pick. Yeah. That's really cool.
I mean, it warrants multiple playthroughs, which is great. I feel like a game like Fire Emblem kind of needs that in its repertoire. But, like, I like seeing the other mechanics of Fire Emblem as well, like what parents make the better statted or ability-wise children and all that. You know, there's a lot of background stuff where it's just they can explain the story to me in the direct. You know what I mean? They can explain that shit to me, but at the end of the day, all they're really saying is like, this is what happens with the story, and here's the systems that we added in to make the game a little more interesting. It's like, cool, but I want to know about the stuff that I really liked in the Fire Emblem, which was also the slice of life sort of stuff.
Yeah,
like the character dialogue and stuff like that. That's the stuff that interests me most. So, but
it is for me too. And the second question is Grookey, Score Bunny or Scobble?
Scobble.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't like, to be honest. When I first saw them, I was like, that was my opinion on all of them.
Yep.
Now my opinion is, they're good. Like, all of them, I don't really have a certain one. I'm like, yes, I'm going to pick that one.
Yeah.
Initially, I'm like, oh, Grookey is cool. Then it went to Scobble. Then Score Bunny sort of... because I really didn't like Score Bunny like when I first saw it.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh, yeah, I like Score Bunny too. So I kind of just like them all.
I don't have a problem with any of them in general. I guess it's just that... And I mean, I've talked to you about this before, but I'm going to state it here. I'm not a big fan of monkey Pokemon. I don't know what it is about them. I'm just not a massive fan of them. So it's just kind of like... And it's not like we haven't had a grass monkey before.
Yeah.
Poor old Pansage there is getting friggin' ignored.
Yeah.
Like he's... Like, for some reason, Grookey's like a massive messiah on the internet. It's like, oh my god, it's a grass monkey. And then Pansage is in
grass
the background
monkey,
crying.
funky monkey. That's a good song.
Yeah. But it's just... Yeah, I guess when I looked at them, I was kind of just like... Grookey's probably my least favourite, because we've already got... I'm not a fan of monkeys. We've already got a grass monkey in the game somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Just seeing some of the fan art, that's where I'm getting excited. Like, these Pokemon have a pretty... Like, a big range what they can probably turn into. Like...
Probably.
Yeah, there's some like really cool designs going on. I'm like, oh, I hope the actual official ones are that cool. There's also one when they all just turn into fighting types. You see that one when they're just like they turn into just big muscle men.
Yep. Yeah. Because everybody's looking at Score Bunny and they're just like, you are going to be fighting type because of that bandage on the nose anime trope.
Like, if it's not a firefighting, what could it be?
Oh, God knows. But that's the problem, is even if they don't make it firefighting, they're still going to make it a fighting aesthetic like they did with the Incineroar. Like, it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
It's like they've completely... They had a dragon, for God's sake, in the first generation, and then ever since then, it's just been animals with different fighting aesthetics.
Yeah.
Maybe disregard Typhlosion in that. Typhlosion's kind of unique in its own right as well, but
yeah, he's just a rat.
Yeah.
I love Typhlosion though.
But like, so do I. He was my favorite starter of that generation. But just like going through the lines, it's just been like, here's an animal that kicks things. Here is another species of animal that kicks things. Here is another species of, it just
keeps going. Yeah,
and like even though Incineroar is not a fighting type, it is 100% like a fighting type in spirit.
Yeah, it may as well be.
It may as well be a fighting type. They're just like, oh, we don't want to...
It's a wrestling.
They're just
a wrestler, yeah.
It's like here at Game Freak HQ, it's like, guys, everybody is upset that we've had firefighting Pokemon for the last 3 generations. What are we going to do about it? Well, I'll tell you what, we've got this big muscly cat that looks like he belongs on a cereal box, and we've already decided on that design. Let's just make him a dark type.
Yeah.
He can still be a wrestler. He can still fight people, but let's just make him a dark type. But I feel like the problem with it is the aesthetic, not the typing.
Yeah, definitely. Just like something standing on its back legs and punching.
And punching.
It's kind of weird how fighting types are super effective against Incineroar now, though. Like,
yeah.
I'm a wrestler. Like, Machamp comes and like, punches it in the guts. Oh!
It's like a typical WWE match.
Yeah. But we'll get into a Pokemon Gen 8 talk a bit later.
Yep.
So on this show, we're going to be talking a bit about just the news, what's been coming out, a few small updates to a few small games. We're going to be catching up on sort of the Reggie news and be putting our sort of opinions out there because...
And the stuff we didn't get to because I was away.
Big Reggie fans, yeah. Because like all of this stuff, it came out when I already had interviews and stuff lined up.
Well, yeah.
So I'm like, oh... Yeah, well, I'll leave it till Bryce comes back anyway. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like
it's all right because
he doesn't go till April. You know, it's not too
you're like
late.
You're like crying. You're like last week's episode. Well, the direct episode. You're like crying. It's like Reggie's gone, and NATO's just like, why am I on this podcast?
Yeah. No, but I didn't. We talked about Pokemon with NATO. NATO was very happy.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
And just before we move on to the main show, I just want to thank everyone that came on the podcast the last few weeks.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, thank you for covering my ass.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having everyone on, and I think everyone enjoyed having the robust lineup of guests too. So
yeah, and look, it's good to do that once in a while. And I mean, even if it doesn't happen again for a while, I think it's just like, well, yeah, good.
So Bryce.
So thanks, guys.
Yeah. So, Bryce, you've been playing a bit of Dragalia Lost.
I have. I've been waiting for that game to come out for, 5-6 months?
Yeah, so it came out in Australia just this week. It's been in, I think it was just the US, maybe UK. I'm not sure. I think it was just the US.
And Japan.
Japan, yep. So it's been over there for a while. I've jumped into it. I've downloaded it. I've played it for about 40 minutes. I know, like, this is probably your realm. You've played a lot of games in this sort of genre.
Yep.
Whereas I haven't. What do you think of it, sir? Is it a good video game for your mobile device?
Okay, well, I'm going to put a bit of a TLDR of what... I put out something on Twitter because, you know, obviously my initial interest in this game was pretty big. It's a new Nintendo-specific IP. Mm-hmm. It's mobile only, which was a bit of a worry, but not for the obvious reasons. But my TLDR on what I said on Twitter is that this game is good, but... the prices at sports are ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Like, they're absolutely disgusting. To get 110 times roll on things that could be three different things, which is worm prints, dragons, or adventurers.
So is this very much like a gacha game?
Oh, it's 100% a gacha game.
Gotcha.
But the thing is like the roster is so short on everything right now that it's not unviable to just play the game and pick up everything naturally, because you can earn like a semi-premium currency just playing the game, and then use that to roll. The price anyway. The prices are disgusting. The IP's really good. There's a good story there.
I did notice that. I was surprised when it had like cutscenes. I'm like, what the hell?
It was really good.
I'm just sitting there playing this game on my phone, and there these cutscenes rolling out. I'm like, oh, this actually got a pretty cool story.
It does.
Yeah,
it's really good, but it's just kind of like, well, it would be a shame to see this IP wasted because of the greediness of the prices of the gacha rolls and stuff like that. I don't even think there's anybody... Like, I've not seen much talk about it at all, but I can't imagine people spending money on this game. Like, maybe they'd spend a bulk of money of maybe about $50 to buy the quality of life things, like extra wormsmiths so that you can upgrade your camp quicker... and then there's like little things that are more permanent upgrades and are not induced by luck. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Yep.
But as for rolling for the luck side of it, I don't know why the hell people would buy currency, because at the end of the day, you are guaranteed jack shit.
Yeah. If
you're paying for premium currency, it is a gambling machine, and it's got absolutely awful prices that I've seen in some of, because gacha games are my realm. I play a lot of them, and so I'm trying to spend too much money.
Yeah, you don't like money. That's why you play them.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like money. I hate money. But no, like, I've cut down in recent times in trying to in playing them, because it is absolutely that I don't even know how they get away with charging such criminal prices. But it seems like
it's funny, because when I first heard you like play these types of games, I was like, huh.
Yeah,
I didn't know you played those types of games. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is that I'm going to float these two things in the same boat, being both Nintendo and gacha games, and that is Fire Emblem Heroes and Dragalia Lost.
Yeah.
Both of them have very abysmal prices, but have very viable ways to earn premium currency in-game, which is great, because it means that you're not just losing out to people who can pay that, which... you'd need to be somebody on like a 5k a week salary to keep dealing with that type of shit anyway. Like, if you want to really make the most of it.
Sorry, kids, 2-minute noodles. I've got to get these rolls to make sure I get this.
I've got to make sure I get this super rare worm print. But it's just like... Everything about it is really good. I like the gameplay. It's just sort of Diablo-style type of thing. The team building is interesting and fun. The fact that dragons and adventurers have their own stats, and you can sort of mess around with them a bit. The crafting system for weapons is great. The castle system for like your home base is good, because you can do all sorts of things with that. The story is pretty good so far. It's a shame to see all these things sort of just fall to the typical, like, I'm a mobile game and I'm also a gacha game.
Yeah, definitely.
With I'm going to make a swift comparison. There's a gacha game I play called Crash Fever, which is a puzzle game. It's kind of like a...
Is that the one I say you play?
Yeah, almost
often?
Kind of like crazy ass Bejeweled type of thing.
Yeah, yep.
But like, it's so unique in its style that it would only really fit on a mobile platform, because you couldn't really put it on console and get the same reception. The satisfying thing is finding a good chain and then unleashing, letting it go, all that stuff. Yeah,
and especially those types of games too. It's just a touchscreen interface is the best way to play it too.
Exactly,
with a long screen.
But Dragalia Lost, the problem with Dragalia Lost is, while everything is good about the game except the prices of its premium currency, it can all be done on a console interface. Like, the whole game could be played on a console interface. So it's just kind of like, you're not really offering me... I mean, I'm going to keep playing it because I'm interested in the story and stuff like that, and I feel like I'm already building a decent, like, sort of team and all that stuff just to get through and whatever. But it's gameplay that can be done on a controller. So
totally.
It's kind of irritating that this IP is currently restricted to its platform, simply because, well...
Yeah. I feel like the controls aren't too bad though. So basically,
not awful, no.
Basically, you're dragging your finger around to move the character around, and to do dodges, you do swipes. To attack, you do little taps. So it's not too bad, but it is a bit like cumbersome when, like, you've got to take your finger off from moving then tap, and you can't really do them both at the same time. Obviously.
Yeah.
So I've only done like a few levels, and I've sort of experimented around with that.
But the thing is imagine playing the gameplay of Dragalia Lost on a controller. It would just feel like Diablo or something, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, it's something you could do on the Switch, for example, and I brought this up as well, was that it would be a shame for it to see it just rot on the mobile platform. It would be great if they could make a version that you actually pay a decent currency for, so $80 or whatever. The typical Nintendo pricing. Just get that out of the way. Add on to it, make its story a little a little more fleshed out with more cutscenes and stuff like that, more voice acting. Make the gacha system kind of like they do with Xenoblade 2, because that's the best way to do a free-to-play gacha system. It's really good. And then just...
Well, not free-to-play, just like a paid product, like where you're not doing microtransactions and that.
Well,
Yeah, that's what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. No microtransactions, just like an in-game gacha system that relies on luck. Like, there's... that, because that's what satisfied me so much about Xenoblade, was I could farm that game for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours until I got the unit that I wanted, sort of thing. You could do the same thing with Dragalia Lost, and I'd still play it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. It'd just be really good if this IP doesn't just get held to the mobile platform, and that we see something for it later on the Switch. Hopefully a sort of remake of the original story that they've already got going on mobile. Like, I get that it's free to play, but I don't know. I would almost rather just play it with a controller if it's just going to continue to be the gameplay it's at.
Have you spent any money in it yet?
No.
No.
I mean, and I might buy. They've got welcome packs. I might buy one welcome pack, which is like I think $40.
Whew, yep.
You know. Well, to be fair, it's not much different to what you spent on Pokemon Quest.
Oh, Pokemon Quest, yeah.
Yeah, it would not be that much different in what you spent in that. But it does...
absolutely. But just defending Pokemon Quest, you pay that $45, that's it. You get... It's pretty much it's pretty much getting the game then.
And I get that, but I'm saying that, like... I could buy that, and then I could max out my Wormsmiths, and...
what's a Wormsmith?
Oh, well... They build things in your camp.
Okay, gotcha.
So you get two to begin with. If you've got more, they can build more at once.
Okay.
Which means your camp gets upgraded quicker. Same shit as Pokemon Quest.
Yeah.
Pay the premium currency, get more opportunity to build and all that shit, and make your camp what it is. So basically, you get enough to sort of get as many Wormsmiths as you need. You get a 5-star summoning ticket, so you're guaranteed a 5-star adventurer. And then that might be the only $40 I chuck on the game, and then that's it. Mainly because re-rolling exists. If you start the game and you get almost nothing of worth within your first like bunch of freebies, then you can just delete the game, restart again without linking to your Nintendo account, re-roll again until you get something really nice.
Yep.
And then just work off of that really nice thing. So I didn't have to do that. Fortunately, I got really lucky with my first couple.
Oh, you got something good?
Yep.
Nice.
I got a couple 5-stars and
2. Wow.
All good.
Yeah.
So I've got what, like 3 or 4 5-star dragons and maybe 2 or 3 5-star adventurers. I haven't spent a cent. So like I've got plenty to work with. So I don't need to restart or anything again. But I might buy that just so I can max out the little things that are more permanent to the game, and then leave it at that.
Yep.
Paying for the premium currency is just too expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just like thinking about who made the game, and I looked up, and it was
Cygames.
Yeah, Cygames.
Yep.
So they were bought by DNA in 2012.
Yep.
And they've got a 24% stake in the studio. So this isn't a game actually made by Nintendo at all. It's just pretty much DNA, and it's
made by Cygames, and the project is funded by Nintendo, making it a Nintendo IP.
Okay, so Nintendo has the IP. Yeah,
Nintendo has the IP.
Yeah,
and they own 5% of the stock of Cygames now.
Yeah.
Because when the deal is that they would make a game in collaboration with Nintendo. They would submit their idea. It would become a Nintendo IP, and they would invest in 5% of stock to Cygames. So Nintendo is now part owner in Cygames. Apparently, Cygames has made plenty of mobile games before, which doesn't surprise me. It's a really pretty game.
Yeah,
it's a really nice mobile game.
Yeah.
And I just kind of hope that Nintendo, being the company that holds the IP, doesn't just be like, forget it. I feel like that's one thing Nintendo's really missing, is just like a very stock standard JRPG, one that
from them at least anyway.
Well, from them,
Square Enix seems to be supporting them really well with what they're doing.
Yeah. Because when you think about it, like
you got Xenoblade, but do you mean just like the old-fashioned
stock standard JRPG?
Yeah. Almost generic, yeah.
Well, yeah, because like Xenoblade is kind of all over the place at the moment. It's like
you got the X, you got Chronicles like 1 and 2.
Well, Chronicles 1, it's just like, was this game made in England? Because everybody's English.
Yeah, they dubbed it in English. Are we in Britain?
Are we in Britain? But like, I would not call them stock standard JRPGs. I think they're probably a little bit different because they differ so much between each game.
Yeah.
Whereas Dragalia Lost could just be a series where it's basically the same thing every time.
Yeah. Choose your job.
Yeah.
Level up. Yeah. Standard stuff.
That type of thing.
So we'll move on to some of the demos that came out in Nintendo Direct. I've gotten around to playing a couple of them. Have you played through the demos that were released a few weeks ago?
No, I haven't. I've got a couple downloaded, but yeah.
Well, that's all right. So I'll start off with the Yoshi demo, Yoshi's Crafted World. It's a little bit different to what I thought it would be, but it's actually got me more excited for the game after I finished it.
Yeah.
So basically, like, it's a standard Yoshi game, But being able to sort of throw eggs into the foreground and the background really change it up. So you're looking for like a lot more things than you would be just doing a normal platformer.
Yep.
Usually you're like, oh, where's the invisible clouds? I'll throw the egg at it. It opens up a pathway. You go up, you get the 3 red coins, and that's what you're doing basically in all of these levels. Whereas this one, you're like, there's something in the background, and you put your cursor at it, and like now it's not like the doing the egg throw. You can actually like aim it.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to sort of just like aim your eggs, which is, I'm surprised it took so long to do, to be honest. But like now, like you look into the background, and I can throw my egg at a cow, and you throw it at the cow, and it just like, and it smacks it into the air. So then, and you're actually able to do combos off of like items that are floating in the air. So you might try and hit it, say 3 times, and you get more coins out of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty interesting that way too. And also just being able to select the path you're going on. So whether it's like back or forward. So it makes it a bit more like a 3D level, but it's obviously still very linear.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think it makes the sort of collection aspect of the game way more interesting. Mm-hmm. I found myself just so relaxed playing through it. I'm like, I've got some red coins. I've got all the red coins. I've got to find this and whatever. Cool. And I finished the level. Got everything. And I found it way more satisfying than something like from Yoshi's Island or even Woolly World a couple of years ago. So I really liked it. And then when you finish the level, you get to go back through it backwards, and you've got to collect the 3 Poochies. And that's different again. Sort of, I just like ran through it, collected them. Cool. Good fun. So yeah, really looking forward to that. I'm actually more excited for it now that I've played the demo. So yeah, and the other demo I played was Daemon X Machina.
Yep.
And you can tell this game is very rough around the edges. When they said, "Oh yeah, we're looking for feedback,"
they really meant it.
Yeah, they really meant it. A lot of people have just said, "Oh no, I don't like it," but a lot of people haven't like gone into why they didn't like it. At least from what I've heard, anyway, from my circles or podcasts I listen to. But it just feels very rough around the edges. So when you're playing as the pilot in the sort of hub area, I played as a she, but she felt like very just sort of clunky in her animations and everything. And even when you go into the actual game, it feels very, very slow unless you're boosting. Mm-hmm. And like the first level where it's like, kill all the enemies, I found it just like really boring.
Yep.
Like really boring, just like you're sort of shooting. You can, you've got your left and right trigger, the different weapons on different arms, similar to in arms when you can equip different things. I had my left arm had a shield, the other one just had a standard gun, and the L bumper does missiles if you lock on.
Yeah.
And I was playing through the first level, and I think there's like one tank I didn't find, so I'm there for like 5 minutes, like where the hell's this tank? And the game, like, graphically it is like a bit blurry, like the draw distance isn't great, so if you're looking around, you're looking at your little HUD icon just to find this enemy.
Yeah.
So I found the enemy, and the next level was much of the same, but the third level actually shown some promise for the game. Mm-hmm. I feel like when you're on the ground, the game's a lot more fluid and fun because you're basically sliding around. It reminded me of Gravity Rush when you can use your gravity powers to sort of like just grind the ground, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot more fast then. And when you go into the air, it is good when you're boosting, but when you're just like out of boost and you're just flying, it's like being behind an old lady in a car. Like, come on, like you're beeping the horn. Come on. Yeah, so in the third level, you get to verse other mechs. I forgot what they were called now, but yeah, it was a lot more fun then. Sort of being able to like actually verse other AI that's a bit more smart, not just like little, pretty much dots on the ground.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this game. I hope there's a lot they can improve. Whether it's just like, I think they
Whether they take it on board as the
yeah. I'd like to see them like speed up the gameplay. It's definitely very slow in parts. And sort of maybe incorporate the boost a bit more. Maybe not make it run out so quick, because it is fun. Like you see someone's shooting you, and like you sort of boost out the way, and you sort of need to maneuver. It also doesn't give you very much maneuverability, so you can press was it B to ascend, but there's no way to descend like to the ground. If I'm like, I want to go to the ground now and start shooting up and grinding or whatever, there's no way to actually do that. You just got to like fly forward and you slowly descend. There's no like up or down, which just like it because I was trying to land on this building, so I've got to like try and work out the actual distance I've got to be to start descending onto it.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know if they're like, oh yeah, no, the mech's very technical and you've got to like know these things. Like a real pilot's got to understand this. But you know, I don't know if that's what that was their thinking, or they just didn't think about maybe a button to descend. Because I feel like there are buttons free on the Switch to actually make you be able to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they just don't.
Yeah, this just doesn't.
Yeah.
So like, I would like to see the graphics refined a bit. It does look pretty janky at the moment.
Yeah.
But it is like a beta demo, so it is what it is.
See, my issue with this at the moment is, are they struggling? Like, in the back of my head, it's just like, aren't they struggling?
Yeah.
It's sort of a case of like, the game itself never really interests me to begin with. It looked like that they were holding off an export for something like this, and it just kind of, I don't know, there was something about it. I just didn't like, and I haven't heard anybody talking about Daemon X Machina at all.
Yeah. So when they first shown it at E3, I was actually, oh, this looks cool. Like the sort of the cel-shaded art style and the sort of metal music. This is something I can get behind.
Yeah.
There's not many mech games these days. So it'd be like a fun thing to get behind, like an action mech game. And it also shown a pretty big promise in sort of how you upgrade your mech and your character and all that too. I went into it and I tried to upgrade, but I didn't have any upgrades to upgrade my mech with.
Oh dear.
So I don't know if I could earn them in the demo or not, but I think I had like one different part and I equipped it. I'm like, cool.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Success.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it gets fixed, and I do hope they bring out a demo when they release the initial, like the game when it's fully released, so I can actually see if it's improved. If not, I won't be interested in buying it for Nintendo price, $80.
Yeah, and that's it.
So
just wait for Astral Chain if you want some sci-fi.
Yeah, see, it's very similar looking to Astral Chain, but Astral Chain sort of looks way better.
Well, it's a game over Platinum too, so you can almost be guaranteed that it's going to play.
The action's going to be spot on. Yeah. Got Nintendo money behind it too, so hopefully it doesn't turn out like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like that game looked awesome. Like as a big Avatar fan, but it just sort of obviously didn't have much time and it just got chucked out.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, I don't think Nintendo would do that to one of their games they're publishing, but you never know.
No, you never know. Yeah.
Have you played much Tetris 99, Bryce? We've talked about this a bit on the show the last couple of weeks. You haven't played Tetris 99.
No, I got it downloaded. I just haven't played it.
Fake Nintendo fan here, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it is,
I'm joking, Bryce. That's right.
It's not a really big deal, all right? I mean, everybody's playing Tetris 99, and I'm just like, well,
You've been playing Apex Legends. You've got your battle royale.
Exactly.
You've got your battle royale sorted.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. The best I've gotten at the moment is third.
Get better.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Third's all right. Eric's got first. He got his first like in the first couple of days. So
nice.
Yeah, good stuff, Eric. So we've got nothing to say on that, obviously.
Well, I mean, I think it's good. I think it's good that we're finally getting something from Nintendo that's not just, hey, here's some ported games that we really should just have a whole collection of on the eShop. So it's good to see something unique sort of come to the Nintendo online platform. A lot of people seem to be enjoying it. It came out, I think it was like a couple days after Apex.
Yeah, I think it was. Like,
people were already making memes about it.
Yeah.
They're just like, they had like the Grim Reaper knocking at doors meme, and it's got like all these battle royales, and it's knocking at Apex.
Yeah, I did see that.
Like that, it's good to see, and it's good to see a unique take on the battle royale genre, sort of as well. It's probably, I'm not sure how long it's going to last player base wise though. I think that's my biggest worry. I mean, the people that are playing Tetris 99 now, I can guarantee you are probably not the same kids playing Fortnite or Apex Legends, and they probably never will appreciate it in the same way that people like us will. Because Tetris is something that we grew up with.
Like now, I'm getting no problems getting matches. It's all lightning fast.
Oh yeah, for now you would be. Yeah,
but people have gotten so much better. Getting into the top 10 is way harder than it was like when it first came out. Obviously, people are getting better. Like I'm getting better. Obviously, everyone else is going to be getting better too. But shit, man, games go forever now. It's really hard to get into like the top 10.
Yeah,
I got into the top 8 the other day. I'm like, I'll do. That's good enough.
No more for me. I'm not playing any more Tetris.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I mean, I intend to play it. Yeah, it's just been a sort of case of, like, especially the last week, I've been absorbed in a Dragalia Lost. And Apex, since it's come out as well, I've been playing a lot of.
Yeah.
So...
Which I have not played Apex either, so I've played my Battle Royale, you've played your Battle Royale.
You've hardly touched any Battle Royale except for Tetris.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's all I need, dude. That's all. I played the weekend of Fortnite, the night or two we played.
Suppose.
And you're like, hey, Drew, go to this house and there's an item there. Oh, thanks, Bryce. I'll go there and get a gun and I shot someone. I'm like, oh, shit. I got flustered and I cried because, violence. Current affair really upset me.
Oh, current affair.
And last of all, I've been playing a little bit of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, and this is because I've just picked up a Hori D-pad Joy Con. I went into EB Games the other day, and they had it on special for about was it $36.
I participated in that sale.
Did you?
Yeah, I actually went in there with the intent of looking for one of them because you recommended them. Yeah, but they didn't have any.
Oh, I got the last one. Yeah, because I had no intention of buying anything. I said, oh, they've got that Joy-Con. And I'm thinking back, I'm like, because on the Switch, in my opinion, there is no good D-pad to play with.
No, yeah.
On the Switch itself, obviously, you've got that problem. Then the Pro Controller, that D-pad is, I don't know how they made such a bad D-pad from Nintendo. It's pretty sad. Right, yeah. But playing this one, just my impressions of the thing, the D-pad is pretty good. It doesn't strike me as like the best D-pad, but it's very functional. It doesn't have the problems the official Nintendo D-pad has, where you can rock your finger on the left or right of it, and it can register as up and down.
Yep.
That's one of the biggest problems. Like if you're playing Tetris and you go left or right, you can accidentally knock it up. So then, bam, your shape's in the wrong spot straight away. if you're playing on that controller, like it's just an awful controller. And using it for some 2D games, it just like registers your stuff completely wrong.
Yeah,
I first found out about it playing Slime Sand on Switch.
Yep.
And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this thing? And I'm just like looking at the D-pad, and I'm like, I can rock this on the left or right. It's like a problem like on the Xbox 360 with that big fat D-pad. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I don't think the fat D-pad was that effective.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because just looking at it, like, oh, it's fine, but when you actually like look at it closer, it's yeah. But yeah, the Joy-Con, the D-pad's great. The joystick feels exactly the same. I think they're actually using the exact same joystick, which is great. That's one of the most important things on the Joy-Con, obviously. The back to the trigger and the bumper, they sound different, but they feel the same, which is good. The only things that feel different are the actual the minus button and the capture button. They're made out of rubber rather than the hard plastic.
Yeah.
And instead of like a click sound, it's just like a mush. but it's not such a big deal because they're buttons you're not using that often. You might just be a screenshot now and again, bam, or just pausing the game. You might just use that.
Yep.
But of course, it's not wireless or anything, so it doesn't have rumble, it doesn't have wireless, so you can't use it while in tabletop mode or console mode. So it's only on the Switch itself in the handheld mode. That's the only way you can use it. So I've just got it like on and off for like, I'm playing Mario. Put it on, got a D-pad, cool.
Yep.
You're playing a Mario Party or something. It's in the bin. But for 36 Australian, I'm really happy with it because I saw him on Play Asia. You can get them for like 50 or 40. And that's a fair bit for like a Joy-Con that's missing a lot of features.
Yeah, for sure.
But for 35 on sale, I thought it was a great pickup. And I definitely recommend it if you're playing a lot of these sort of 2D games in handheld mode. Mm-hmm. Because there's so many of them. Like the Switch is like the perfect place. It's a Nintendo console which you can take on the go, which needs a good D-pad. It just needs a good D-pad.
Yeah. No, but it's okay. At the end of the day, I didn't get you. I didn't get a Hori pad, but I did get a cheap brand new game. So.
Oh, what'd you get?
Warriors Orochi 4.
Oh, nice. How much you get it for?
50.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah. So I'm happy enough with that.
You been playing it much, or?
Yeah, I put a couple of hours into it, but.
Have you already played this on PlayStation though? Or
No. This is a new one.
Oh, it's a new one. Yep.
Yeah, it's a new one. 3 is the one you're thinking of. That was out on Wii U.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it was a while ago since the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Quite a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Scoop-de-doo.
Okay, so nothing to say on that. Just
No, it's good. It's Warriors Orochi. It's the thing is I own 3 Muso games.
Yeah.
So Hyrule Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors, and Warriors Orochi. They all play pretty much what you expect them to. They never really change.
Yeah.
They never really change. If you're into them, you're into them. If you're not into them, then you're probably never going to be into them. That's just sort of how they are. So
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to some quick news thingamajigs, Bryce. So Persona 5 is rumoured to be coming out on Switch. Obviously, there's rumours going around everywhere. So basically, that it's rumoured that it's going to be announced sometime this month and out before.
Well, it would have to, because that's when all the Persona news is coming.
Yeah. So there's the anime which is airing, isn't it? So I was like, Dash on Dash Culture, he was saying that it's likely to air or be announced sort of after the anime finishes.
Yeah.
And that makes so much sense.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
Yep.
And obviously with Joker coming out in Super Smash Brothers in April, it all lines up really well. And you were also saying I saw you talking about this on Twitter, that some data has leaked from...
on Discord.
On Discord, was it? From Super Smash Bros. So tell us a bit about this, because I don't know much about this either.
Okay, so there's obviously always dedicated data miners for every single game that has an update database in existence.
Yeah.
But guy's been snooping around in the files, and he's found a string of files that sort of indicates that there's going to be an alternate costume for Joker that features a hairstyle like a ponytail, and its code name is Jane. So what seems to be the case at the moment, because a lot of people are sort of breaking it down, they're just like, it could be Arn in Joker's Final Smash. It's like, well, no, because they have a completely separate codename file.
Yep.
Or, there's this and that to it, sort of thing. And they've sort of just brought it down to, there's going to be an alternate costume for Joker, like there was for, say, Cloud. How he has his classic outfit or his Advent Children outfit.
Be a bit like the Fire Emblem characters too, having like the Robin, the girl, and the male version.
Yeah. In the same way, and that this is they're actually going to feature both the male protag and a female protag, which has not yet been released. But what they're thinking is that the P5S, or whatever they're calling it, or P5R, which was the code name for it way before they said they were going to do stuff in March, was people like, P5R. P5R. The gib is that at the end of this, it seems that they'll announce P5R. It will feature the ability to be male or female protagonist, which is something that has happened in Persona before with Persona 3. Only on the Vita version, I think it was, though.
It was PSP.
PSP.
Yep.
And that they will announce P5S or R, or whatever you want to call it, label off the female gender as a feature, all that stuff, and then with Smash they'll be like, oh, by the way, both male and female protags are going to be available in Smash Bros, and it'll be an alternate costume, because the way the line of code is set out is something along the lines of like digits Jane digits ponytail .cxml or something like that.
Okay, yep.
And that CXML is important because that's the file name that they have for the recolors and skins and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting.
It's exciting, yeah.
Well, for Smash, it means that not only will Persona 5 be getting, its female protag, but Smash will also be getting that female protag at around, the sort of same sort of conjuncture. So that's cool. I mean, I want this game as enough as it is on the Switch, but even just having the representation in Smash and feeling like Atlas are supporting the idea of it being on Switch, because that's what it's felt like ever since Joker was announced for it. Yeah.
At this point, I'll be a lot more surprised if by even June we don't hear anything about Persona 5 on Switch. I'll be very surprised. Like, if Nintendo is just like, bugger it, let Joker in. Let him advertise a exclusive PlayStation 4 game. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll be a lot more surprised if that was the case. But from My Nintendo News, they say the heavily rumoured Persona 5S seems to be available on to Nintendo Switch customers this autumn. The news comes from Twitter, blah, 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 blah. The user says that the game will be shown off on the Nintendo Switch sometime before May and is scheduled to be released this autumn. Persona 5R is thought to be a similar version to Persona 5S, but it's for Sony's PlayStation 4, which is of the platforms it originally launched back in 2016.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, so there might be two versions. Switch might be getting like a few of these things, and maybe PlayStation might be getting more stuff because...
Well, if it was anything like what happened with the PlayStation Portable version of 3, they had Persona 3, they had a remaster like Golden type of game, and they also had the PlayStation Portable version, which differed in some ways. One in that it had a female protagonist as a playable option, and two, that some of the in-between stuff between the night phases was sort of cut down and simplified. Maybe they're going to do the same thing for the Switch version. I'm not sure. But I'd rather, to be honest, I'd rather just see the whole thing get on there.
I'd love to see the dancing games come too.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can borrow the dancing game. I've got the dancing game.
Oh, do you?
Game. Yeah.
Yes. Can I please borrow it?
Yeah.
Which one? The
Persona 5 one.
5 one. Awesome. I'll borrow it off you.
I didn't get both of them because it's just like, hey, here's $140. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm good, thanks.
One's enough for now.
I only need one dancing game. Thank you very much. So yeah, no, I swear I told you that.
Oh, you probably did, but yeah,
I got it ages ago now. I've got like halfway through it, and I haven't gone back to it since Kingdom Hearts came out.
Okay. Oh wow. Yep.
Yeah. So I've had it for a long time.
Yeah. No. All right. I'm looking forward to playing that off you then.
Yeah. There you go.
I'll do some dancing
and then play actual Persona.
I will play it, buddy. Don't you worry. I'll be all over that Persona 5 on Switch. So this is just a real quick one. Splatoon 2 is getting an update.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Don't know if it's because Nintendo's actually stopped the content rollout for Splatoon 2. It's it's expired the amount of time they were going to put into it, but now the balances and stuff are coming to it.
Yep.
So I just want to touch on that because I love Splatoon 2. Need to get back to it.
Splatoon 2.
It's always one of those games where you hear about it, you're like, huh,
yeah, I remember Splatoon.
Yeah.
I remember.
This is another real quick one. So Mario Tennis Aces getting some new characters. There's Paulina from New Donk City. There's Dry Bones and Carmack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you're into
Mario
if you're still playing that game, there you go.
Yeah.
Are you still playing Mario Tennis Aces, Bryce? I'm not either.
No, I probably never will.
Because if you come over, there's no chance in hell we're picking up Mario Tennis over Smash Brothers. Or if we get sick of Smash, all right, let's play Mario Kart. If we get sick of Mario Kart, like, I don't know, game of Mario Party, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Mario games we're playing over here, apparently.
Yeah. Or hell, we got shit like Party Crashes and...
Yeah, all these indie games.
I almost said Karate Pashes, but you know.
Karate Pashes. Oh, what kind of game would Karate Pashes be?
They're like kung fu moves. It's like all slow in midair, but the
it's like this big dynamic thing at the end. They just go.
yeah, exactly.
Little nip on the lips. Oh, there you go, buddy.
Yeah.
Who won?
You're fighting over control. Who has control of the Pash?
Who's the dominant one?
Oh my god.
So no, we're not playing Mario Tennis.
Yeah, Party Crashes.
And we've got some big Pokemon movie trailers, which we never talk about movies on here, but obviously the Pokemon movies,
they're obviously important.
They're big enough to talk about, and these ones obviously stand out more than like the last ones. Every year there's a Pokemon movie, and you sort of look at it and go, huh, the animation's different. Cool.
Yeah, Pokemon movie.
So we'll start off with the biggest one. It's Detective Pikachu. The second trailer came out.
Looks good.
It looks awesome.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited for it.
We talked about this on the podcast ages ago, and it's like, oh, there's a Detective Pikachu movie coming out, and you know, at the time,
didn't seem that great.
Yeah, I was fresh off the game, and the game's good. It's just like very kiddie, easy, go through it. You're getting a decent story. It's like, a movie. You're like, oh, you know, I don't really need that. It's like, oh, Ryan Reynolds is voicing Pikachu. That's weird. That's really weird.
And then we got the first trailer and we're like, oh, it's actually kind of dark.
Yeah.
And like more adult.
Yeah, like a really broody atmosphere.
Yeah.
And like the Pokemon, some look like cute, the others look bloody disgusting. And I love it.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Mime with like his basketball head and like...
You sounded like Steve Irwin, weren't there?
I bloody love it.
I bloody love it.
Oh, just get around the Detective Pikachu movie, boys and girls. Ugh.
Look at this Ludicolo.
Yeah, so Ludicolo, like in the game, it's like, he's a weird looking Pokemon, isn't he?
He's a shaggy duck boy.
Yeah, but in the movie, he's like, what the hell is that? He's weird and disgusting. Could you imagine training that? Like really, like you've got Charizard, who's like a big menacing, like huge lizard breathing fire, and you got Ludicolo, who's like this big fluffy duck pineapple. It's like what the? I was like, what on earth? And you get some maracas onto that bad boy, and yeah, but can't wait for this. And it's actually coming to Australia day and date too, so we're getting it May 9th.
Yeah.
Whereas in America, it's May 10th. Obviously, with time change, that's the same. Because a lot of people were worried that in Australia, we were going to get it 2 months later.
Yeah.
And obviously, if we get that movie 2 months later, we're going to be listening to it on podcasts, YouTube, just reading forums, Reddit. It's going to be wrecked. It's going to be ruined.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's good we're not going to be waiting so that. I'm looking forward to doing an episode on Detective Pikachu.
Just kind of sounds silly that, like, sorry, it kind of just stuck in there for a second. Why the hell do people insist we don't get movies day and date nowadays? Like, we live in such an era.
Yeah, just
where we can transmit data in seconds.
Yeah, just upload it to YouTube, set it as a private video, you're fine. Play it in the cinema, she's good.
There you go.
Because that's how it works, doesn't it? Definitely.
But you know what I mean? It's just like...
Yeah.
It's like, why does it take 2 months to get a movie over here? Like, it's so stupid.
Well, yeah, I guess it just comes to, like, their budget and where they can put it and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, but you would think in countries like, I don't know, if you're going from US to Australia or US to Japan or something like that, you know that there's going to be revenue there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, Australia, like, Nintendo has, like, a depot here. Like, Australia is a pretty big... Well, obviously not big compared to Japan or America, but it is a pretty big bit of their business.
Bigger,
yeah. So, not releasing a movie here day and date would be pretty silly.
Yeah.
So I don't want to talk about too much of this trailer. You've already seen it probably, and if not, you can go and see it. But really love the look of this movie. Can't wait to go and see it.
Yep.
Finally a Pokemon movie that isn't just like Ash saving the world.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ash saving the world, the next trailer is a remake, essentially, of the first Pokemon movie.
Mewtwo Strikes Back.
Yeah, so I loved this movie when it came out.
Yeah, same.
I saw our friend Johnny Peck. He put on Twitter saying how he hated the first Pokemon movie when he was 11 years old when he went to see it in the cinema, and he thought that was like the general consensus. Like, oh yeah, everyone just thinks it was a bad movie, and everyone's like, what the hell, dude? It was a great movie.
Yeah,
and obviously there's a bit of nostalgia talking there. Like, I haven't seen it in years, but when I did watch it, when I was a bit older, I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really liked it, how it started up with like the Pokemon battle, and it's got like that remixed theme.
Wanna be the very
it's really cool. And obviously that bit where Pikachu, like Ash has turned to stone, Pikachu's crying. It's a pretty big like moment for in the Pokemon series.
Yeah,
just fans looking back on. So I think it was a great movie. Now
it's even a meme to this day.
Yeah, it's a good meme.
Yeah,
good meme.
Yeah, crying Pikachu.
Pikachu makes for good memes.
Yeah, he does. How he does.
So where was I? They've just shown the new trailer and shown off the new sort of animation style for this. It's not animated; it's like a CG.
Yeah,
and it doesn't appeal to me at all.
No,
I don't think it looks very good.
No,
I do appreciate how like in the last Pokemon movie they really did different animation. That's cool. In the Pokemon movie I Choose You, they did different animation again, and like I really like how they're experimenting with this type of stuff.
Yeah,
but when I saw like the screenshot of Ash, Brock, and Misty, I immediately thought of Robot Chicken.
Yeah,
and like I actually looked up some Pokemon Robot Chicken skits on YouTube. I'm like, oh well, the movie looks way better than Robot Chicken, obviously, but it's like the same type of style almost.
It kind of just makes you go,
yeah.
That was the first movie that I'd ever bought as a kid.
Yeah, so on
VHS.
Yes, yeah, my granddad bought it for me.
Yep.
And like I've got a picture of, it's actually like one of my only pictures I've still got left. Well, not only pictures, but it's the main one I had up of him after he passed away.
Yep.
Where me as a little boy, I've got my Teddy, blue Teddy. I've got my video and my Mewtwo Pokemon card, holding it, and he's next to me like with the like his arm around my shoulders type of thing. And it's like, I guess that's sort of like the memories I have of that movie, like really good memories of like my grandpa, or granddad. Yeah.
No, I earned my first $20 when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and I bought the movie.
It's only $20.
Yep.
Yeah. Bargain.
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 Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think it'll be on my watch list just because it kind of tarnishes the memory for me.
I got to clip that out. I might as well just clip that out. Like, I don't know. That's our reaction. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully, kids are into that animation. They'll love it. Cool. Enjoy the first movie, which we grew up on 20 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
Not quite 20 years ago. It's almost 20 years.
Yeah, no, 20 years ago.
It's pushing it, isn't it?
No, 20 years ago.
Because I was about... It would be. I was about 4 or 5, yeah.
I'm 26
I don't think I was at school yet. I wasn't at primary school yet.
You would have been 4. I was about 5 years old.
Wow, so 20 years ago,
20 years ago.
So...
We're old.
Yeah, oh yeah, we're real old, aren't we? Mid-20s. Oh! Like... I
was just thinking about it yesterday. I'm just like looking back and I'm like, when I turned 26 this year, I just realised that 8 years have gone since I was last in school. Holy crap.
Well, what about the people older? What about the people in their 30s who are listening to you say this? Are like,
yeah, they're sorry, fellas.
They're all just like, get fucked, mate. But then like the blokes even older than that, or like the girls and boys, and
it's alright, guys. It's alright. We can be sad together.
Be sad. I don't feel old yet, mate. I'm not a dad yet. I'm not bloody getting around with my bloody walking frame and my grey hair.
I'm getting there.
I've got some red hairs in my beard though. It's really weird. I don't know how to...
Dude, have you ever looked at my beard? Jesus Christ. I'm like
I'm looking at your beard right now. It's behind the pop filter, but she's right.
I'm like the definition of multicolored. I'm like blonde, and then I've got grey, and then I got black, and then I got brown, then I got orange, all in one beard. It's really weird.
All in one beard.
All in one beard.
Bryce's beard, all in one.
All in one.
Different colours.
Nintendo Switch.
Alright, Bryce, let's move on to Gen 8 of Pokemon. So last week...
Galar region.
The Galar region. The Cockatoo region.
Yeah, exactly,
Yep. So, yeah, it was announced last week in a direct. Myself and Nato did an episode at 1 o'clock my time in the morning for it. So, we might be able to have a bit more of a chat where I'm a bit more cognizant. A bit more awake.
Yeah.
So you've pretty much heard my opinion straight after, but Bryce, we haven't heard yours yet. What do you think of the graphics, the art style, the sort of the theme of the region, the Pokemon?
It looks stupidly pretty. Obviously, we've only seen 3 Pokemon at this point that are unique to the region.
Yeah, it's starter Pokemon. Yep.
It's based on England.
Yes,
and it's got a steampunky vibe in the major city, which is cool.
In the I don't think that was the major city.
Well, in one of the major cities.
It does show it, like in the there's a city in the middle of the region which gets shown on the map. That seemed to be the steampunk aesthetic.
Yeah.
Whereas you've got a city which seems to be more based off London up the top of the region near the snow. Yeah. And that seems to be a bit more futuristic with like Big Ben and a few icons like that.
So the map really confuses me because it's literally just like a friggin'...
It's just straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like this is pretty much... the UK flipped on its head. That's the shape of it.
Yeah.
What does concern me is just maybe how linear the region might be going through it. Like you've had regions in the past like which have been like circles with like the major city in the middle. You've seen 2 regions like that now, so I'm happy they've moved away from that shape because I was getting sick of that. But going back to the first 3 generations of Pokemon, so Kanto, Johto, and Hoenn, you had like looking at the region, there wasn't like a path you could see. In the games, there was a path you took, but there wasn't. It wasn't so looking at it straightforward.
Yep.
So that's just my concerns on this. But if you look closely, you can see like train tracks coming out of caves and like all that type of stuff. So it might not be just progression from bottom to top. You might take the train station to the middle city, then you might move back here. You might go into some caves in the mountains on the side. Like we don't know.
Yeah, not until we get more info. Look, I'm glad they dropped the direct because it's sort of just like it's one of those games this year where it's just like we kind of need to know what's going on.
Yeah, just tell us. Like,
just tell us.
I said this before too, but it's March now.
Yep.
and we've got to wait to November for this game. Supposedly, like it will be November, I assume, but we don't know for sure. It's going to be a long wait of just like trickle of information, and they've got a lot of marketing to do for this game throughout the year to keep us hyped. Yeah. So that might also mean like blowing their load on all the new Pokemon too, which they've done last generation for Alola.
Yep.
So that might be a bit concerning, because I just want to come into this game and just I want to play it now and just discover it all. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to see it now.
No, yeah, I'm fine with the information we've got. Maybe a little more detail on
new features or stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but no, I don't want it to be ruined.
Yeah.
Like they're always talking about, like, oh, kids nowadays don't want an end game in Pokemon.
Yeah.
No, they don't want to pay attention. But it's like they've kind of cranked that up to 300. They're just like, the kids want to know exactly what Pokemon are going to be in the game. And so we're just going to tell you everything. And then it's just like, oh my god, no, don't do that.
Because X and Y, the lead up to that, they didn't announce the starter Pokemon evolutions. And that was fantastic. So you're picking like one of the starters, not knowing what it's going to turn into. And having that throughout the game, when you get it to level 16, you're like, oh my god, what's it going to turn into? Like, you did not know.
No.
And you might be disappointed, or you might be happy with what you got, but...
It's self-discovery.
and people are like, oh, I've got to see the extra evolutions to know what I'm going to pick. So the first playthrough of the Pokemon game, just don't even worry about that. It's all about discovery. Whether it's going to the new cities, discovering like the people in them, the Pokemon, like just the region itself, just discovering it. Then you can play it through again and like think about your team and all that type of stuff. That's what I tend to do. That's why I didn't like not X and Y, Sun and Moon, because you get to a town and they're just like, hey, blah 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 blah. Like there's no discovery in it.
No.
And they told us everything in the marketing material, and we couldn't ignore that because we're doing a Nintendo podcast, and I wouldn't be able to ignore it anyway because it's there and I would want to know about it.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, really excited. I agree with you. The graphics look really nice, but to be honest, it is what I expected.
Yeah.
Like, it isn't like, oh, shit. Because I recorded myself with the reaction, but like I can't find it because I literally just set up OBS and I don't know what file it's going to. So I haven't seen it yet. But my reaction wasn't like, oh my god. It was just like, cool. Nice.
Cool.
Looks good.
Looks good.
Like the area in the cave with like all the coloured lights and everything, and the snow with the lights. It looks awesome.
Oh yeah. I think it looks ultra pretty. I like that it's got like an English theme. I like the memes that have come out of it as a result.
I love the memes, man.
The memes, the comics, everything that's come out of it. They've just made this female trainer like an aggressive,
I love that
40-year-old mum.
Like I don't want to use the exact language on this podcast, but it's like, all you bloody slag, come and battle me. Oh, you get fucked. It's like,
oh, tear out your throat.
It's like when I'm like reading that meme, it's that's a bit stereotypical, guys. It's a bit rough. Then like videos are coming up. Like there was this guy in some English city. He's like walking an emu, and some guys, some guys recording out of his car.
Why have you got an ostrich?
Oi, why you got an ostrich? It's an emu, you fucking dick, or something like that.
It's an emu, you dickhead.
And the subtitle's just like, the new Pokemon games. But I love the countryside.
It looks so pretty.
Like the sunshine. It's funny because it should be overcast and raining all the time, but I'll let it slide. The sun's nicer. I like this better than Alola, than the tropical setting. Yeah.
The thing that bugs me about Alola is it's like, hey, here's 4 islands, and then there's nothing in between them. There's no real sense of discovery or journey just going between like the islands.
No, it's just like, press A, you're there, cool.
Yeah.
No.
And it's like, I know that the islands have routes in them and stuff like that, but it's kind of just like, you could have like a whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, well, we've bitched enough about Sun and Moon. What I want to talk about is sort of the football stadium sort of shown in the region. I can count about 5 in this map, but in the actual trailer itself, it shows a trainer walking in with pretty much a football jersey on, and then there's a Pokemon battle that takes place in that stadium. I think it's almost pretty obvious that these are going to be gyms, but like what I'd love is a different take on the gyms, and I put this on Twitter too. So whether they sort of like have a take on like the English Football League, where you're like, whether you're trying to beat teams or you're a part of a team and you're trying like to climb the ladder, and eventually you get up to the Pokemon League and like you're versing like maybe the the champion team or whatever it might be, however you want to phrase it, whatever. But I think that would be awesome to have like a real take on the English Football League, not just have a Pokemon, not just have like, this is a football stadium and it's a gym, battle the gym leader, you're done, you get the badge. Like, I think it'll be a lot more interesting if they sort of try and put like that football spin on it. It'd be really cool.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just, obviously we've only got a scarce bout of information at the moment. I think what we've been given at the moment is pretty good. Like I was saying about the starters before, Grookey's probably my least favourite pick. Mm-hmm. Skobble being my first, and then Scorbunny looks like it's going to turn into a firefighting, so yay for that. I mean, this game, in my opinion, is going to be pretty important for the sake of 2 Pokemon series.
Yeah.
And that specifically is the Stadium series and the mainline JRPG. Because obviously they're not going to make a Stadium series game anymore. And they're just going to focus on having this JRPG as your Stadium game that you play at home on the TV and you do your Wi-Fi battles and shit on.
Yeah.
You know, that's obviously going to be a major part of it now. So I think... And look, just looking at the map doesn't really reveal a lot other than, you know, the stadiums and towns and whatever. But as for end game and all that stuff, I don't know if we're missing something here. There's clouds covering part of the region.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up, whether they... Like, it doesn't look like it's covering that much, the actual clouds, but maybe there's an island here, maybe, like, who knows?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Like, there could be something there. It's just sort of a case of, like, the complaints that we generally have with Pokemon, which I will not repeat, because I'm sure you've probably heard them a million times before.
We're a broken record here on the house.
We are 100% a broken record, except we're a broken record of, like, Hollaback Girl.
Yeah.
Except it's just like all it is the chorus over and over again.
Oh God!
Few times I've been around that check. I just think that, especially with our major complaints, which again you've heard before, they really need to be addressed. They need to treat this game not as they did with Sun and Moon, saying. The kids don't care, because at the moment it's quite obvious that the kids don't care. The kids are caring less and less about Pokemon nowadays, and it's really leaving it up to the generation that already grew up with it to help push this series forward. They're the ones buying the games, they're the ones doing this and that.
They're the ones doing podcasts about it.
They're the ones doing podcasts about it. You know, they're the ones promoting the game, all that stuff. Obviously, you're still going to have stuff in there for kids. Kids do still enjoy Pokemon. I have a child that enjoys Pokemon, but it's just like you can't base on the content of your game on the age demographic that you're basing it.
But like that, like just for context too, this was the director of Omega Ruby,
Ruby, and
Alpha Sapphire. I could not get it out of my mouth for some reason.
Yep.
He basically went on record saying there is limited post game in these games because people aren't interested in sticking around with the same game. People are jumping between games all the time now, and he's saying this in an age of Destiny and Fortnite, where people are playing the same game are pretty much exclusively playing one game.
Yeah.
And myself and many other fans almost want Pokemon to be like the game they keep coming back to.
I want a Pokemon that I could play for 300, 500 hours and still be satisfied.
Exactly. I want nothing more than a Pokemon game which maybe will even update with more information or more like stuff to do, whether it's free little things or even a DLC pack. I'll be all about it.
Yeah.
I'll be all about like going to a different island to do like a set of challenges or whatever they decide to put in.
Yeah.
But just the last couple of games when they've dropped it and it's like, all right, you're done. So I've waited for this game all year and I've just beaten 8 easy gyms. I want more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The thing is, that's what it needs to be marketed on.
And past Pokemon games have done it really well. You've had the remakes of Fire Red Leaf Green, where you've had a whole bunch of islands to explore, and they've added on the story for Team Rocket. Well, they got got up to after Giovanni left in between Gold and Silver.
Yep.
You had Pokemon Emerald, which added a huge challenge, which was the Battle Frontier, which some facilities were bullshit in that, but that's fine.
Of course they were bullshit, but it also added the challenge that we wanted.
Yeah. I don't really want bullshit challenge, but
yeah, but I mean, we're more knowledgeable about Pokemon nowadays that we can build teams around that and do all that.
Yeah. See, I remember I got to the very last challenge of the Battle Pyramid, and I just got swamped. And looking back on it now, my Charizard and everything had like the wrong natures, not EV trained, all that nerdy stuff in Pokemon, which I just didn't know about back then.
But if it was, you had more of a chance. And, obviously, like, competitive Pokemon battling is a very... Well, it's sort of a growing scene right now, whether it be in the TCG or the video games.
Yeah.
And a lot of people you will see that are playing the competitive scene are people who...
Mainly older.
Are older.
Yeah.
And the people that aren't old... and are actually quite young in the ages of like 10 to 12 bracket or stuff like that, they are almost always coached by an older sibling or something like that that's helping them learn this and then doing it. There was a guy that was like considered a little whiz at Pokemon, but he was just like, I have to really sort of hand it out to my older brother for helping me learn this stuff.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they need to not treat this game as if it were only being played by little children. And again, we're in the age of Fortnite and all that, we just kind of need to have a Pokemon game that can last us that long time. Give us the incentive. Let us do it.
So just moving off that, onto like... there's a big split on the internet. Pretty much, it's almost 50-50 from, at least when I looked at it anyway, that like wild battles are back to normal. I know we talked about this a few episodes ago when you were on, that this is what you wanted. You wanted it to be normal again going in, so that's good. I was a bit disappointed initially that they got rid of that, but thinking back to it, seeing the graphics and how much Let's Go chugged, especially in like the forest areas where there's lots of Pokemon, it'll just make the game not be able to be as graphically impressive with all that stuff on screen.
But in my opinion too, it does remove a sense of mystery by having them just pop up and walk around. Yeah,
I felt like it added a lot to the world just seeing Pokemon freely moving around.
And I get that's the argument, but look, a sense of mystery is what's great about Pokemon especially if they don't do what they did with the Sun and Moon and reveal literally fucking everything. But it's sort of like I want to run into a grass encounter. I want to see what Pokemon comes up, and I want my first experience to be mainly that. I don't want it to be all these Pokemon like, oh, what the hell is that? Let's go touch it. I've already seen what it looks like outside of battle, so I don't get that initial surprise of, hey, look, that's badass. It's just sort of like, I touched this bird thingy.
Well, yeah, hopefully they don't announce it all beforehand. And
the same thing with the shinies as well.
I really liked it for shinies. When it popped up, I still got the shiny.
Yeah, but I feel like it's more intense. You're like, been chaining and you've been really grinding it out. You're like, I want that shiny, and then when it finally comes up, think about it. Think about your initial reactions to like shinies in that, and then your shiny Latios reaction.
Yeah, because I was looking for that Latios for way too long.
Exactly, but it still made you go, holy shit, when it came up and you got into the battle immediately, and you're just like, holy crap!
Yeah.
But like, how many shinies have you caught in Let's Go? Like,
a lot.
Exactly. It kind of loses its flavour when you catch goddamn many.
Well, remember when I was in the car and I got this shiny Sandshrew? You got a reaction out of me. I was like, yes! Whoa! Yeah!
And you got a shiny Paris because I drove the car to work.
Oh, I got 2 shinies in that 20-minute car trip. It was great. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, it makes you feel good, but it also kind of removes the...
I got those endorphins before having to serve beer at the pub.
It removes the pizzazz of like, yay, I've been putting my effort into this.
Yeah, no, I do see where you're coming from, and you do have a point. Yes.
Yeah.
Any other Pokemon stuff you'd like to touch on before we leave?
Nah, not really. It's obviously we only got technically we only really got 5 minutes of information or so. We got our view of the region. I really do like how colourful it looks and how great it looks, but again, it's got to fill the slot of filling stadium Stadium Line shoes and the JRPG shoes now, because there's absolutely zero fucking point to them ever making a Battle Coliseum or anything like that ever again.
Actually, it will be interesting because they've described this game as like the handheld game, where they described Let's Go as the console game. So it'd be interesting to see if like multiplayer mini games and all that type of thing work its way into this, where you can hand off the Joy-Cons and maybe do that type of thing. I would like to see that, because
it would be good.
At the end of the day, it will be played on your TV. People will be coming over, and just the option to be like, hey, let's play a game where you just like go to the menu and you can just do it that easily. So last topic of the show, Bryce, our Lord and Saviour, the man
Reggie Fils-Aimé
of the hour, Reggie Fils-Aimé. He is leaving Nintendo April, and Doug Bowser is taking over.
No, Bowser.
As president of Nintendo America.
The only thing that worries me about Bowser taking over is I don't know whether he was on the good side of EA or the bad side of EA. I have no idea.
He was from EA like before they turned ordinary.
Yeah, but who's to say that he wasn't working with the bad side of EA before he pizzled off?
Well, I've not done my research on Doug Bowser. We'll do a background check on him for next week. Make sure he's been behaving himself.
But, obviously we have plenty of complaints with the EA. So it's kind of just like, hopefully they are making the right decision in who they're picking for company president, especially when you have such a big name to live up to in Reggie.
Oh, yeah. So we're not going to go into like the news story necessarily. This has happened 2 weeks ago now. But as Nintendo fans, Reggie has been a huge sort of
incredibly huge
icon in our lives. I guess it sounds weird to say that.
Yeah, he's not like a role model or anything like that. But he's especially even when we were young, it was just like if you were hearing about Nintendo news, the news was coming from Reggie.
Yeah.
If you were watching somebody deliver a presentation, it was probably from Reggie. Reggie entered the company with sort of a big bang. 15 years ago, was it?
Yeah, 2004, he took over as the president of Nintendo America.
Yeah, so 15 years
and
ago.
he joined Nintendo back in 2003 as sort of in the marketing role.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was 2003 where I pretty much got into gaming.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking up news and getting sucked into the industry type of thing. I was only 9 years old, so I'm not following all that type of stuff.
No, yeah.
But that's when I started playing Pokemon, and slowly from there up to the launch of the DS. The DS was like when I started reading gaming magazines.
Yeah.
I remember it was Total Gamer, and they were like, oh, there's this rumored Nintendo handheld. It's got two screens, and they had like a Photoshop of a Game Boy Advance SP with just like two screens branching off of it. Like if you go back to that time, there was so many weird Photoshops of like, oh my god, two screens, I can't comprehend two screens, oh my god.
Yeah.
Then when they bring it out, all it is like, oh, there's a screen between the buttons and the D-pad. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But he was the one who come out and announced like the DS, showing off like the prototype of that with Mario 64 running.
Yeah.
Obviously before then he came out with the famous quote, which I'm going to butcher if I say it now. Well, about kicking ass something and making games. I don't know why I've forgotten. Can you think of it?
No, yeah.
I've forgotten that middle line.
So have I.
But they're about making games.
Yeah.
We're talking about Reggie here. We forgot his most important quote.
No, his most important quote is "My body is ready."
And obviously all the sort of memes and the pop culture stuff that came out of that.
He has been one of the most in the spotlight presidents of any gaming company in existence, if not the biggest one. And even then, he'd only be shortly followed by Iwata, or he'd be on the same par as Iwata before he passed.
Yeah, but Iwata was doing E3 presentations and that, but obviously with his lack of being able to speak fluent English, that sort of hindered him.
Yeah.
Then when Directs came out, obviously they've been able to edit the videos a lot more, so Iwata can
like during Iwata asks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but I'm saying like those two were so huge in the spotlight, and obviously Iwata died. Rest in peace. Quite a few years ago now.
It's getting to 4 years ago.
4 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's it was an awful tragedy. And now we are coming to an era where Reggie's leaving Nintendo. But both of these people have been sort of involved in their roles since we were little.
Yeah.
So a lot of the information, and they always made sure they were in the spotlight talking about their stuff and promoting their brand and, doing the right thing by their company. And, they were never the type of people to be controversial or anything like that. They were just business presidents who were about having fun, playing video games, all that stuff. And as Nintendo fans, their passion and the way they talked about Nintendo was always like, that's who they wanted to be, and they played their own games. And
he always had sort of a knowledge of the product he was selling. Yeah, like he knows video games. He's been playing video games, growing up and everything. Yeah. Much like all of us, he always goes on about his favorite game is A Link to the Past on the SNES. Yeah, and all that. And I feel like his public forward. Like his forward public figure. Yeah. Like a lot of other companies in the gaming industry back then did not have that.
No, they don't.
So
even today they don't really have that.
Yeah. So with Sony, you had Jack Tritton and that, but he was unaware of sort of likability of Reggie. Yeah. Reggie, he came out. Sometimes I think he was a bit too markety in the way he spoke, especially in the Wii U era, where he kind of had to try and sell. To a pretty ordinary box, with stuff like the DS, the Wii, and the Switch, it's a bit easier for him to be like, it's selling great, it's innovative, it's just easy,
and he has fun with it, which I'm glad that he got to do with the Switch before he ended up retiring, because obviously the Wii U era was a bit of a dark period for them. They were losing a fair bit of money, and they never really profited, and fans were angry, and it was hard to take feedback from raging people sending them death threats, type of thing.
And you see this with other companies too, like Jack Tretton from Sony. Obviously, the PS3 and the Vita were a bit of a downward trajectory for him. Yeah. Then with the PS4 came out to a record-breaking launch, and he said, "I'm resigning. I've brought out a new product." Put it on the right path, it's successful, I'm out on a high note. Yep. Reggie's doing the same thing. He's came off the Wii U, which was a abysmal failure. Yep. Came out the Switch, huge success. He's like, all right, I've done my 13 years. It's time to peace out, enjoy the time with my family. And I feel happy. At least this is a happy story. This isn't with all the other sort of news stories coming out of the industry with
Activision and all that.
The Activision layoffs. You got the Fire Monkeys layoffs in Australia here, and just having this all right,
shut down.
Yeah, I've done my 13 years, and I'm gonna spend it happily with my family. Yeah. So it's a good story in the end, and what it comes down to is hopefully Doug Bowser fills his shoes well, and just from his past sort of speeches at E3 and. All that he seems to do a good job, at least with the public facing figure. Yeah. And I don't think you're saying about EA. I think his past experience with VR. I don't think that's anything to get too worried about. If we do start seeing microtransactions in that, okay, but at the end of the day, even Reggie, his involvement with making these games in Japan really wasn't really much influence at all. So. Yeah. We're going to be safe, so you don't have to be too worried about that. Well, because don't get me wrong, EA, the idea of EA's bullshit seeping into my favorite company scares me too. But I don't think this is a situation like that. So.
No, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess what we're saying is, Reggie, if you're ever listening to this, is that thanks for being a part of our favorite video game company for the last 15 years. You have been an absolute giant in what shapes our excitement for video games. You will always be in our daily Twitter scroll, whether it be memes or and we'll never forget the work that you've done.
That was a thing too. For years, the body is ready. That meme, it just went. No one acknowledged it. Then the E3 2012, actually it was their last E3 conference, when Reggie was doing the he actually acknowledged that my body is ready meme, and the crowd just erupted. It was amazing because like these days, like they did the Robot Chicken skit with the directs, and they're getting really weird with the stuff they're doing. They're really playing into that wacky Nintendo vibe.
Yeah.
But before then, it was just like, he comes up with his suit on. He's like, yeah, this is a game. This is how much it's selling. Good for us.
Yeah.
But when they lent into the sort of meme culture, the sort of what the fans are talking about online, that's when Reggie sort of really came into his own, I feel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, Reggie, love you, buddy. Come on the podcast now. You don't have to worry about.
Yeah, love you, man. We'll send you an email.
Yeah, we'll send you an email. What's your email? Reggie@bigpond.com. So nothing else you want to bring up on the show, Bryce, before we wrap it up?
Good to be back.
Good to be back. It's good to have you back too, buddy.
It's not the first podcast I've been in since I said that I was coming back, but I'm back here now.
So you've been on the 8-Bit Cast for episode 3.
We've both been on the 8-Bit Cast now. Yeah,
so I was on episode 1. Yeah. You've just recorded episode 3.
That's exactly right.
Should be up in a bit.
So if you're interested in listening to 8-Bit Cast shenanigans, you can either there's a launch date. Yeah,
so it's available on 8-Bit's Patreon.
Yeah,
which at the $1 tier you can listen to it. I think 2 weeks early, and then it's on free feed 2 weeks later.
Yeah, so absolutely. Yeah.
So
there's some good conversations going there today. All we talked about was food.
Yeah, and I laughed because Bryce is the perfect person to talk about food.
Oh yeah,
he's a good cook and he loves his food.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I laughed at him because he had like one of those 2-liter tubs of the gravy powder. And my mum the other day said, I think we were having roast or something. She's like, this is good gravy, Mum. Yeah, I got one of those 2-liter tubs. I'm like, yeah, that's one Bryce had. Because you can only buy it in that size, can't you?
Yeah, you can only buy it in that size, but they're so good. The gravy is so good.
No, don't get me wrong. That gravy is to die for.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening to the House of Mario episode 86. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to subscribe on your podcast service of choice and leave a 5-star iTunes review. Every little bit helps. And on Twitter, you can find me at iDruby. Bryce, where can they find you?
Over.
And you can find the show at the House of Mario. And I forget to say this often, but we do have a Facebook page. Most people have Facebook. If you want to keep updated on that platform, go to search House of Mario. It should come up in there. If you'd like to join our Discord community to talk with us and our
lovely people
about Nintendo, there is an invite in the show notes. And of course, we are a part of the 8-Bit Collective, 10 plus Australian podcasts and one American one, coming together to bring you awesome audio content for your ears. And Bryce, that's the end of the show.
That is the end of the show.
I'll see you next week, mate.
Yep.
And to play us off, our Nintendo Jukebox this week is by Big Lax. It's Sword and Shield Freestyle, which is a Pokemon Sword and Shield rap. There are a couple of naughty words in there too, but
just watch the naughty words.
Watch the naughty words. I'm just giving you a warning in case you're listening to this with your kids in your car.
Yeah.
But yeah, have fun, guys, and we'll see you next week.
It's the year of episode 100.
Big Black wants to
When I step into the ring, everybody's eyes feel. Cause this is my terrain, my turf, my field. As I get to battling, I will never yield. Keep it Iggy slash, yeah, sword and a shield. Sword and a shield, sword and a shield. Keep it Iggy slash, yeah, sword and a shield. Sword and a shield, sword and a shield. Never change my stance, but keep a sword and a shield. I keep heat on my beat like a fucking score bunny. Got some heat for you cheats if you think that you're funny. RSB in the street, my ticket to more money. Make you flinch with quickness like a megalo bunny. And I make these niggas sobble. They ask for my Franco, but they too afraid to squabble. You get wrapped up in this shit, I'm feeling like Sawaddle. You always took my PB down, but I will never struggle. Yeah, climbing straight to the top like a groove king. But every train and rush I down is trying to shoot me. Yeah. Them niggas be hella goofy. Every Sunday they should be a gift to them like the Ruby. Yeah. Wait, shit, I'm at Cherim. Yeah. But you niggas, they can't tear me down. We're folding under pressure, they can't bear them. Hardest up in Gala, so you niggas cannot scare me. When I step into the ring, everybody's eyes feel. Cause this is my terrain, my turf, my field. Soon as I get to battling, I will never yield. Keep it Iggy slash, yeah, sword and a shield. Sword and a shield, sword and a shield. Keep it Iggy slash, yeah, sword and a shield. Sword and a shield, sword and a shield. Never change my stance.